and we're gonna bring in our Latinx representative, Mike. Hello, Mike.
Hello.
Thank you. Even though you're not Mexican, you will be joining us for this Mexican film.
Kind of got a laundry basket POV shot. I like it.
Look. His microphone isn't rubbing on his beard. This is a win for us.
The TV isn't on. There's not a conversation happening out there. It's good. I'm doing my best, guys. I'm doing my best.
That's right.
So, the next film, Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle, which is maybe the first movie in James Gunn's DCU. He kind of explains that really weird when they asked him, because they were like, oh, so he's like, this is the first DCU character, but Superman Legacy will be the first movie. It's like, what the fuck does that mean?
It was very obvious what it meant, Tony. If this movie makes a lot of money, we're going to see more Blue Beetle in the DCU. If it doesn't, we'll see what happens.
I love that James Wan is about to like sue Warner Brothers for constantly delaying Aquaman. That's pretty funny.
Really? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, the movie was finished like a year and a half ago, but they keep forcing reshoots on him. And he's like, just put the fucking movie out.
And it's crazy because the first one's like the highest grossing.
I know, out of all of them.
Movie. Yeah.
Now, I'm not the biggest fan of this character. I like a Blue Beetle.
Because he's Hispanic or
well,
why?
I think that's you. Now, Adam, I know you were despite your past comments, I know you were actually excited for the movie. And I remember you tweeting about it. Here's the tweet we have here. This is from Cinco de Mayo this year. You said, happy Cinco de Mayo. The best Mexican superheroes will be in DC's Blue Beetle. I love Hispanics. And I remember you tweeted.
When you went by that quickly earlier, I thought that was Gilbert Gottfried.
No, that's a real tweet of you. You tweeted that. You were very excited for this movie. So I like the Ted Kord Blue Beetle. That's the Blue Beetle I like. However, this version, Jaime, in high school, like 2006, when I was like really getting into like buying comics monthly, that's when they kind of introduced this version of Blue Beetle. So I was there at the beginning of this character, and they've been trying to push him for over 15 years. And the most I think he ever gets is he's okay, I guess. No one's ever really thrilled with this character. I've never met anyone who's like, I fucking love the third Blue Beetle. It's my fucking favorite. Yeah. It's like, no, he's actually all the Blue Beetle. The joke with Booster Gold and then the Ted Kord Blue Beetle, the joke is like, no one really knows who they are. They're not that big of a deal. And that's where a lot of the comedy comes from. But yeah, so my knowledge of this character is like pre-New 52, and everything I saw in this movie was not what I remembered. So I'm out of the loop. Mike, what do you know about this version of Blue Beetle? Are you a fan of it?
Literally all I knew was that he was Hispanic.
And that was enough for you?
That checks the box.
That was enough for me. Like, hey, he's brown. I'm in. You got my money.
Look. I saw a trailer for Equalizer 3 where Denzel Washington is in Italy. Oh. And just because it was in Italy, I didn't rush out to see it. Or did I see the Pope's Exorcist, okay?
Is that any good? I saw that was added to one of the
people are telling me it's really good. I just haven't watched it yet.
Okay.
So Joey, are you familiar with this character before this movie?
No, not at all. Not even in the fucking slightest. I just saw that he was Hispanic and I checked the box.
Adam. Well, we know you were excited based on this tweet we saw.
Yeah, of course, right.
You were excited for the movie.
I was familiar with the character when he was red, and he was a Marvel character, but I think he went by the name Iron Man then. Now he's Blue Beetle.
So I saw this movie today, and the first scene where he's like being armored up, the little kid like in the row next to me, I heard him to his grandmother go, Iron Man. I was like, no fucking way. I'm like, and that's not even a joke. I think the kid like got confused.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
When I took my goddaughter to see Justice League, the theatrical cut, which you reviewed recently, Adam.
I did, yeah.
She had not seen like a lot of the Marvel movies, but she knew what they were. And when Cyborg showed up, she was like, is that Iron Man? And I wanted to be like, yeah, that actually is
Iron Man. It's one of his new suits. It's his Mech 4 suit or whatever they call these stupid things.
So yeah, a version of this character I did like was Batman Brave and the Bold. He was a big character on that show. They go into that whole thing. But yeah, wasn't a huge fan of this character. Don't know what his current origin is post many reboots. But yeah, I dug the film. I dug the film for the most part. I did like that it acknowledged the previous 2 Blue Beetles a lot, actually. They were actually, their history was like a big part of the character. I thought they were going to totally ignore them. I literally thought they were going to be like, screw those white guys. We're all on board with Jaime. I'm like, wow, no, they actually celebrated like the history of this character. So I thought that was cool. Joey, what did you think of the Blue Beetle?
I was pretty pleasantly surprised watching it. What I really liked about it was like, in a lot of like family movies, like usually only like 1 or 2 characters gets to shine, but I felt like everybody in the family got to have their piece of the pie, and it kind of felt like an actual family. And I think like the main character really had a lot of charm and charisma. And like that dude was going to be a fucking superhero, whether he liked it or not. Shout out to, oh no, it's okay. Yeah, it's good. Adam, you want to go?
I wanted to ask you about that actor. What is he from? I know he's from something that I don't watch. What is he from?
I have not a clue. Not a fucking clue, man.
He's from, the main guy's from, what the hell is that show? Karate Kid, Netflix.
Yeah, Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't watch that show.
Yeah, we don't watch it. I don't even know.
I was informed that he was in Cobra Kai.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Anyway, keep going, Joey.
Oh, thank you. Wow, I appreciate that. Shout
that was
out
a question for you. That wasn't me stopping you. That was a question for you. Keep going.
Thank you, Tony. Shout out to Bearded Outlaw. We got some good representation in this movie. And it wasn't too exaggerated or stereotypical like some Italian American films.
What is it about Italians? We love our stereotypes. I feel like we're the only group that really love. It's like you're all violent murderers that like steal everything. And we're like, yeah, Mamma Mia.
Yeah,
like, why are we like that? Why are we like that?
It's so,
Mamma Mia yelling it. Mamma Mia.
Like there's so many movies that paint Italians as violent murderers, and Italians will go to the theater and be like, yeah, look at us.
Yeah, I got fucking like a Goodfellas poster right there. So we're just
Goodfellas
fucking
poster.
silly.
Adam, I you know what? Maybe we shouldn't have our Latinx person go last, so we're gonna skip you, Adam. Mike, what did you think of the Blue Beetle?
10 out of 10. Best movie I've ever seen.
Fuck yeah.
No,
like, what did you really think of?
It was good. It was really good, bro.
No, I liked it. I really liked the family aspect because it did hit home for me.
Mm.
It really did. Like his family felt like my family. A lot of his parents coming from Mexico without anything. That's how my grandpa came from Puerto Rico without anything. The struggle for his kids to become successful. Wanting us to do better. So it really hit home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
and you've also got an alien bug attached to you too. You related to that?
You're related to that part.
right there. But no, I really liked it.
Okay. Adam, how did you feel about this film?
I wasn't huge on it. I don't like family or friends or anything, so that part I didn't relate to at all. No, like, listen, the family was actually great. George Lopez was easily the standout in this movie. Yep. I enjoyed him quite a bit. He was pretty funny, loud, obnoxious, but in a good way. The sister was okay. She was kind of the weak part for me. I did find some of the scenes. Okay, let me set this aside. This felt like a Disney movie, but it had a lot of swearing in it, so it couldn't go full Disney. Yeah. So I felt like I don't know who this was for because there's fart jokes, there's a good amount of swearing. It's very kind of cliche by the book storytelling, and the superhero origin story thing is so played out that just kind of saying, hey, we have Latin representation it's going to work for some, but I needed a lot more than this. And a great example of something early that I thought missed the mark. I agreed with all the messages as far as, how the characters are treating this as garbage. But there's a scene early on where they're working at the pool that's run by the evil villain of this Susan Sarandon, which
Susan Sarandon.
Very interesting choice for the villain here. They're working there, and the dude's like, hey, is it Heyman? I'm sorry, I forgot. Jaime. He's like, hey, hello, and he's waving to the rich, pompous ass, and she's on the phone talking, and he's like, hey, hello. She's in the middle of a call, like on a meeting.
Yeah,
kind of rudely interjecting, and then his sister's like, they don't notice people like us. And I just felt like you could have set that up so much better, where she could have maybe just been walking normally and not in the middle of a conversation. like the messages didn't hit right for me.
Yeah, that was bizarre.
You're being the rude one here, dude. It's not because you're less than her, which obviously she does think that, but it didn't play out that way in the scene. The other thing is the effects were really hit and miss, which doesn't bother me much. I like the Flash, and that movie had disastrous effects. But when I didn't have anything that was really working, it was just hard to get behind any of it at all. One last thing, there are the creativity in this movie. Let me point something out. There are 4 fucking helicopter shutter camera shots in this thing. What I'm talking about, where a helicopter flies by a fake camera. And the camera goes, voo, 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 voo. There's 4 of them. What was the deal?
I agree with you. The family was okay for the most part. George Lopez, his screaming was either funny or irritating. The sister's witty comments weren't like 100% for me. I'm sorry. I didn't find the grandmother funny. That was so forced for me. Yeah. I don't know. Did you guys like the grandma? I thought that was like overboard. I'm like, all right, it's not that funny,
it's got like
I can see how
it's got a Spy Kids vibe to it.
It does, yeah.
Which is fine. Spy Kids is fun, but this is in the superhero genre, and it's just so played out. If this would have came out a decade ago, I might not be as hard on it as I am. Yeah. But it's just watch, rinse, repeat at this point.
I liked his actual parents. Did anyone recognize his mom from something?
Yeah, is she from Martin?
No, she's Anna from Predator. She's the only woman in the movie Predator.
God.
Yeah. I don't see her in many movies. So when I saw her, I'm like, that's Anna. I'm like, I know that is her from Predator. Yeah, you're right. So it is the typical superhero origin stuff. It does fall into a lot of cliches where basically the bad guy is just him in a different suit. And actually, I was a little confused because are my slides just not working? That's
they're
awesome.
Doing stuff.
Are they on your end?
Yeah, they're moving around. There's comic book covers, and now there's
what the fuck? Why isn't it moving around on my end?
You're going back and forth like a spaz.
Hold on. They were not moving on my end. They were just, and now they're not loading. How awesome is that?
Describe them for us, Tony. Yeah, we see a red Power Ranger guy right now.
Yep. Hold on. Technical difficulties. Let me pull up the slides on the actual thing so I know what's actually showing, because I forget how I ordered them.
It's the bad dude.
Yeah, but hold on. God damn you. Was it slide?
Now it's a cartoon bad dude.
Yeah, now it's a cartoon bad guy.
Okay. Slide 21. There's a bunch of comic book covers, right?
Yes.
Okay, so they kept calling the thing OMAC, the One-Man Army Corps, which is a thing from the comic. It's actually several things from the comic. Mm-hmm. Several different characters. So I kept expecting it to look like that. And then when it shows up in the movie, it's this. And I'm like, wow, they really redesigned that character. But apparently this is someone else from the Blue Beetle comic. So I was like so confused that they kept calling him OMAC. It didn't make sense to me.
Oh, they like cross-pollinated 2 different things?
Yeah. Okay. It's like he is a character and that is his name, whatever it is in the movie. Mm-hmm. But the fact that she kept referring to him as OMAC just really confused me. But yeah, that is a cliche. Like the Sony Spider-Man movies do that, where the bad guy is just, the Sony standalone Spider-Man movies do that, like Morbius and whatnot, where it's like the bad guy is just a different version of the good guy. So that was annoying, but
even I will say a positive on that. I thought the bad guy with the sub villain, I guess, whatever you want to call him, he was actually pretty damn compelling at the end, and I liked how that played out. But
Yeah.
The stuff with the corporation was just a little too much. If they would have focused, I think, on him as just the sole antagonist, it would have worked a lot better for me.
Well, they wanted to set up the Ted Kord stuff. And like I said, I appreciate that they went into all the Ted Kord stuff because I do love that character. And I like that even though he wasn't in the movie, we got to see a lot of his tech, like the Beetle, the big Beetle that they fly in. Whatchamacallit, if you've ever seen Watchmen, Night Owl was pretty much based off the Ted Kord Blue Beetle. And the owl ship that they fly in Watchmen is a parody of the Beetle from Blue Beetle.
That's what I thought when I was watching it. I was like, that reminded me of the one from.
Well,
Watchmen.
originally Watchmen was going to be set in the DC universe, and then I guess the executives were like, "Wow, if you write the story, all our characters are going to look like assholes." So they're like, make them like versions. So like the Question became Rorschach and other things like that. So I appreciated that, but yeah, even when it was cliche. I thought it did it well enough. You're right. There's too many movies that are similar, but I actually had a good time with this. And I know you thought the effects were hit or miss. For me, they mostly work. Not so much the CGI city in a lot of it, but like the stuff with the suit and whatnot. After seeing so many movies this summer that looked like they were unfinished. Like I liked Shazam 2, but that movie had some rough visual effects.
Yeah.
This movie looked like a completed finished movie, like it wasn't awkwardly tampered with in post.
Oh, see, I disagree. I thought it had kind of that Joss Whedon stank filter thrown on. It had that yellow garbage filter, and the neon just did not mesh well with the color grading they were doing. I expected dark contrasting colors with vibrant neon, but instead it was this like piss filter they put on top of it.
You know what might have affected me? The theater I was in, they didn't dim the lights enough. So everything looked pretty good to me, but maybe I'm not seeing the CGI to its full potential. But no, I actually really like the scene where he goes to heaven, I guess, and talks to his dad. And then the other scene where the bad guy goes to heaven and talks to his mom and then drags the white lady with him. I thought that was bizarre.
The Black Panther heaven thing, like the Lion King. Next sister.
Yeah, like I said, it's stuff we've seen before, but unlike Heart of Stone, which was stuff we've seen before but lame, this is stuff we've seen before but competent. And I actually would like to see it continued. I would love a prequel with the actual like Ted Kord Blue Beetle, or not so much Dan Garrett. The first Blue Beetle I don't give a shit about, but the second one I want to see just because he's tied to Booster Gold, who's a character I really care about. So Mike, do you think this is a win for the DCU? Did they get the DCU off on the right foot?
Personally, I would hope so, but no, I don't think this is the one that's going to start it all.
Come on,
it's got to be It's going to be Superman.
Are you excited to see Blue Beetle team up with Superman?
Yeah,
it's a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
I think James Gunn, because he did say this in that little spiel video message before, wasn't he calling the DCEU Elseworlds now, or Other Worlds or something?
I think he was referring to stuff like Batman and Joker. I think that's what he was referring to.
He said something about, because The Flash, if that would have been successful, which it bombed, I think that was also going to kind of carry on, and I would imagine Blue Beetle would have been part of that, and not necessarily, but.
I do want to point out, his suit, now that I'm looking at it, so his suit is mostly digital, but they built a real suit. And I appreciated that when he didn't have the CGI face or tentacles, I think it was just an actual suit, like on camera.
Yeah.
And I was shocked by that. And part of me thinks, after what they did on The Flash, they just ran out of money to make it digital the entire time. And I'm like, no, that's good, because for me, it matched well with the CGI. But I'm like, wow, it's nice to see a superhero just wearing some fucking garment or something instead of they're always constantly changed. And I looked up what the suit looked like on set, and it matches the CGI model almost completely. Not like, so Spider-Man in Civil War looks weird because they shot that movie not knowing what he was going to look like. So like, if you see what the Spider-Man suit looked like on set, like the temporary one, it looks nothing like the finished one. So no, it was nice just seeing a fucking guy in a costume and not a weird CGI skin tight costume for the whole thing.
Well, I got bad news for you guys.
What?
The movie had a budget of $104 million, and it's only grossed $85 million worldwide. And that's the full release.
Now I feel bad for Mike.
Yeah,
because this movie would have really helped the Oh shit! What was that character Bad Bunny was supposed to play? I can't even joke about it because I don't know the character. Oh my god! Oh god! Hold on!
It's a luchador.
Just watch Coco. That's a much better movie about
like
a
El
Hispanic
Muerto
family.
or something.
Bad Bunny luchador movie.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember that. Wasn't Bad Bunny?
El Muerto. Yeah, they were gonna make El Muerto, who's a Spider-Man character I've never heard of.
I never heard of him either. But again, is it Bad Bunny's in it?
It would have been. It would have. You would. The
Is Bad Bunny the guy that was in Bullet Train?
Yeah,
I think so.
I liked him in that. He was good in that.
Great movie.
Look, you would have gotten a Puerto Rican superhero played by Bad Bunny, but he apparently has walked off the project. And I think after Blue Beetle, they might have pumped the brakes on that.
Yeah.
So I'm just
superhero movies.
So because of people like Adam and their racism, you're not going to get El Muerto starring Bad Bunny. I'm very upset by this. We're all upset by this.
I do enjoy El Macho, who's the villain in Despicable Me 2.
Yes.
That counts for anything.
Exactly.
And there's also a great video game. I think there's 2 of them, and I am going to screw up the name. It's El something also. It's a side-scroller Metroidvania type game. Is this coming clicking anybody? It's very colorful, cel-shaded.
Guacamelee?
Well, yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, Guacamelee. Yeah. That game is fantastic.
That was a fun game.
I'm an adult.
Oh, you should.
Yeah, video games are for children. Sorry. Thank you for reminding me, Mike.
Blue Beetle's definitely a film geared towards adults with refined taste.
I also saw it with my nephew. I see all the movies with him, so see him through his eyes, also brings my grade up a little bit.
That goes a long way, honestly. I always share how I took my daughter to Wonder Woman, and she was just over the moon for it. So it definitely does help.
So is my goddaughter, and I heard your story about Wonder Woman 84, and my goddaughter did the same thing. Where she watched the whole movie, but she was like, "Yeah, it's not as good as that other one."
Oh my god! Yeah, she saw Wonder Woman. She's like, "I love Wonder Woman. She's my favorite superhero." Fast forward like a couple years later, Wonder Woman 84. My daughter leaves the room halfway through. I don't like Wonder Woman anymore.
But yeah, I had a good time with the movie. I think it's fine and fun, as I say often on this show. And the fact that it was so cliche really helped. That meant I could go to the bathroom and come back and I knew exactly what was happening. Also, I love that they kept Ted Cord white, but they were like, we got to give him a Brazilian daughter. I'm like, okay, all right, all right. I wonder who's gonna play him if they ever bring him back.
I know he's the dude that plays Blue Beetle, so he wants Jason Sudeikis.
Oh, I like
that'd
Jason
be good for an older Blue Beetle. That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
That'd be a good choice.